I, Good evening, everybody. I'm Pradipti, and I'm your host for today. Pooja Raval will be joining us soon for our migration update, the weekly migration update that we have. And now, since it's been quite a while that we've had something like this, it's exciting to be back on this platform and interact with you people, uh, see what your doubts are and what you guys have to ask, and hopefully we answer all your questions. Um, Hello, Pooja.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Pooja. Thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Exciting as ever.
Yeah. And since it's been long that we've had something like this, it's nice to get back on this platform and have this chat with you here today.
Definitely, it is always exciting to come into, live platforms, social.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Interact with our audience, get to know what their thoughts are, their questions. It's always
exactly.
nice. Yeah. So now, since this financial year is coming to an end here in Melbourne, what kind of changes or what's something new that we can expect, or any migration related update?
Mm, See, there is a lot of speculation that next financial year there will be a lot of better changes in terms of migration, and which is sort of already evident because in terms of a month back when they came with the what are the new I mean how much they are going to allocate for different subclasses of visas and stuff like that. We can see there is a very promising future for general skill migration because
Mhm.
there's almost 30,000 more allocated position for this stream. So obviously I can tell you at this stage that yeah, next financial year is looking more promising. So yeah.
That's some good news and hope for people who are here, maybe who are planning to migrate to Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is like, you know, what I can tell you is definitely there is more, positions coming in general skill
Mhm.
migration. At same time, remember there might be a lot of opening for offshore application as well. So the competition will be there. So it's not going to be like a easy piece of cake that okay, since there are
Right.
more positions, like it's just going to be served in your plate. So you
Yes.
have to keep yourself up to date with all those competitions.
Hmm. So, what would you suggest for a student who maybe just graduated and graduated from, let's say, a master's in mechanical, and now he's heading to pursuing another master's in a different discipline? How can he progress towards getting a PR or making a future in Australia?
So are you trying to ask me that somebody who's already done a bachelor degree in engineering back in their country and
Yeah,
coming in a master
yes,
degree?
for a master's here.
What I would like to tell here is most of the people who's already completed, for example, engineering in different, discipline, when they are coming here to pursue their master degree in whatever discipline they want to do, remember they can always get their skill assessment based on their bachelor degree. So
Mm-hmm.
once you get your skill assessment and if you have got all the relevant point that's required in order to apply for GSM pathway, you can
Mm-hmm.
always try it that way as well. Yeah. And like for example, anyone who's completed here masters in IT, and if they are doing PY for, in order to get their skill assessment, they need to wait until their PY is finished. So meanwhile, why not to get a skill assessment depending on their bachelor, and
Hmm.
keep trying for different different states where depending on what skill assessment they have, what discipline of studies they've done, depending on that they can always apply and grab the opportunities if it's around.
Yeah. Does it like maybe it offers them a wider set of
Obviously,
opportunities and they can
yeah,
maybe
it's
get.
not exactly, it's not limited to one scope. You've got an option there. It's always
Mhm.
good to have plan A and plan B and plan C, as I always tell that to my client. So your plan is after your masters, your PY, you are going to go through that. But meanwhile, plan B is what you have done back in your bachelor. Is there a
Right.
possibility to get skill assessment on based of that? Then yes, why not to do that and keep trying through that pathway, because
Mhm.
eventually if plan B fails, we always have plan A in place as well. So
Right, right. Yeah, it's always better to have more options. And yeah.
yes.
Also, everyone who's watching and who's joined us here today, please leave your questions in the comments because we're going to answer your questions towards the end of the session. So make sure to drop in your queries or any sort of questions that you might have today. Um,
So what I would like to tell here is, Deepu, like for example, if anyone is waiting for next financial year opening and they are planning their PR pathway, rather than leaving everything for the last moment, I think they can work on enhancing their points now. Like for
yes.
example, someone who is in 80 points but has IELTS PT 7 each, then
Hmm.
this couple of months they can utilize to enhance that skill to 8. So they've got extra 10 points that because 10 points is 10 points, because sometimes you miss the invitation just with few points. So
Right.
this is the time we have to be proactive,
Hmm.
more vigilant. So
Hmm.
the area where you can improve your score, this is the time actually you need to work and enhance and improve those, like for example, if you haven't given nati, then this is the time you need to work on nati to get that
Hmm.
extra 5 points. And as I said, if you are only in IELTS or PT 7 each, then this is the time you might have to try and get ETs and enhance those 10 points. So here it is already like 15 points in your pocket, and plus if you have got a partner, like for example, if you're married and your partner has some sort of academic portfolio where they have done, like as you said, bachelor in engineering or bachelor in IT or some sort of thing, then why not to work in getting skill assessment from your partner, so they can
Hmm.
give you that extra point. And if your partner has a competent English as well, they can give you that extra 5 point. So this is the time actually you need to be more vigilant and work towards every area where you can be ready for next financial year, so that when it opens, you're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah. You have almost paved your way through halfway there. You're almost getting there, and there's just
Yeah,
these
I,
last few processes that need to go through. And
yeah,
yes.
that's right.
Um, what about the professional year program? Who is going to take it up, and what goes behind it, and how is it gonna help you through your PR process?
See, how it's gonna help you is like, for doing professional year, you get extra 5 points.
Hmm.
Okay, and 5 point is 5 point, like, and plus another thing is like, it will help you for skill assessment. For example, who's done masters of IT, and if they don't have any professional work experience, if they don't have any employment, then by doing 1 year of professional year course, they're
Hmm.
able to get that practical exposure on their field. At the same time, they're able to claim extra 5 points, which is definitely going to help them in long run when they are applying for the GSM pathway.
Hmm. Yes.
So it is like my recommendation to all the students who's completed, like for example, MPA, masters in professional accounting,
Accounting.
masters in IT.
Hmm.
They it is a good idea for them to think about doing their professional year, because in 485 visa, basically, you can utilize that time simultaneously along with your working, because most of the professional course only run during weekends. So during weekends, if you can do this and gain that extra 5 point in long run, then why not? I think you should definitely and seriously think about it.
Think about taking the professional year program. Yes.
Yes.
Um, I think we have a question here from Mr. Vinay Santosh. Um, so Vinay is asking about his application for a 190 visa,
Yeah.
but it's still he's waiting for his grant.
See, once you lodge your visa, it's up to the department. If your documentations and everything is complete as per what it's required, and if you have given them a decision ready file, then it's all about, like, just waiting. And because normally at the moment it's taking almost like 6 months to 8 months, and in some cases it's even going more than a year. So yes, in that case, like, yeah, you can always contact your register migration agent to write to your case officers, inquiring if there's anything more they require. Apart from that, I don't think there's anything that you can do.
There is no express way to get to know it. You might it's waiting game after all.
Yeah.
Or of course, you can get in touch with your migration agent to get to know how far you've gotten. I hope that answers your question, Vinay. Thank you for joining our live today. Um, Moving ahead, I think we can talk a little about partner visas, which are and tourist visas, because we have so many students graduating now after the pandemic has kind of come to a halt, or
Yeah.
seems like it. And now children are graduating and they want to get their parents over, or maybe partners want to get their significant others over to the country. So how easy or how hard is it, or what are the processes that they're going to go through, or what is any new migration update that might affect these people who are waiting for a visa?
See, in terms of tourist visa, as I always tell to my client, for tourist visa as well, you have to meet the GTE requirement. So what
Mhm,
that is a genuine temporary entrant requirement. So basically, what department is trying to see is like this person coming here to visit their family member is going to go back to their country, home country. So if you meet all those requirements and if you show them a substantial reason why they are going to come here, I don't think it'll be so difficult to get a tourist visa.
mhm. So
Yeah.
that's some good news for anybody who's joining here and
Yeah.
they want waiting for their tourist visa.
If they want to know anything further, they can always contact us in Excel Global Services, and we
Yes.
will be more than happy to guide them through. Yeah, because
And
recently,
we've also had quite a few approved tourist visas in a short time frame or time span. So
yes.
you could definitely get in touch with us to maybe book your next flight to Melbourne on your next visa. Um,
So,
any
what do you want to ask regarding partner visa? Sorry, I missed that, Dipti.
Oh, about again about the process or what's important or any major update on partner visas.
So basically, in a partner visa, the thing is there are different factors that comes into play to prove your relationship is genuine. There are
Mm-hmm.
four different pillars that you have to meet. So yes, so what you are looking at this stage is like, to show that department that you both are like, have a genuine interest to be in the relationship. You both
Mm-hmm.
are sharing your responsibilities. You both have commitments to run to live this relationship in a genuine way.
Mm-hmm.
And there are different factors for that you need to meet. And in order to know how you can do that, and how you are able to show your social connection, like how you have come in front of social media as a partner, there are different factors that comes into play. So if you want to know more about this, you can always give us a call.
Mm-hmm.
You can come and have a consultation with us, and we can guide you through depending on different scenario, because
Yeah.
each cases are different.
Yes, it's specific to each scenario, so we might not be able to give a generalized
Yep.
statement. So you might
Yes.
have to get in touch with us
Exactly.
to get to know more. Here we have another question from Vikas. Vikas is asking if there are any PR options for students who are pursuing accounting or who have pursued an accounting course.
Well, we are waiting for some good news next year. I don't know, at this stage, accounting is something which is a very, very difficult pathway. But
Mhm.
definitely, if you're working as an accountant, and if you have got an employer who is willing to sponsor you, then employer sponsorship is definitely a prominent pathway for you to fulfill your dream of PR.
Mhm. I hope again that answers your question, Vikas. Thank you for joining us today. We have yet another question from Preeti. Preeti is asking about the steps to apply for a nurse visa, which is the 489.
Uh, Preeti, you can, our email address is there. If you can email that to us, then we will be able to explain you in a more detailed way,
Oh, yeah.
because I don't want to discuss your personal case here in, live media. So it's better if you can, write an email to us and we'll respond to that. Or you can call
Yeah.
us, number that's given there.
Yeah, we have all our details on our Facebook page, so you could take our contact details from there. And um, yes, another question from Anu Reddy. Anu
Yeah.
asks if she's completed her master's in IT, which is the best regional place to move to?
Anu, at this stage, I would not recommend you to move to any state because in July there is all new different rules from every state is going to be published. Depending on which is more favorable during that time, we will advise you. At this stage, wherever you are, keep working on your field, and keep working on enhancing your points. And then yes, once we have got new updates from all different states in July, then definitely that will be something that we can address then.
So even these elections are going to have a huge impact on which country is going to adopt what policy and ultimately have an effect on the PR status of a lot of students.
As it's a known fact at this stage in Australia, Australia is running like literally short in their skilled labor. So obviously, um,
Hmm.
the changes will be more promising because obviously they need labor to work here. So be it be in a white color or blue color, at this stage Australia is really really short in their labor market. So definitely, whatever changes will come, no matter whichever new government will come, they will definitely add value to all the circumstances that's going around the country.
But there's you have to wait it out so that
Yeah.
then maybe you can choose a better option for yourself, and
Yes.
that's going to be fruitful for your career. And
Yeah. And Anu, if you want, you can always get in touch with us after July. Then we will be able to see your circumstances. We can see what skill assessment you have in IT and which state is in more has more demand of that profession. Then we can guide you through.
is there any steps maybe students like Anu can take to work on their profile so that eventually they can move in? Because June, there is a considerable amount of time. Is there anything they can do to enhance their profile?
Dipti, as I told already, that this is the best time for you to work on your points. If you
Hmm.
are not meeting those point criteria, remember, Anu, especially in IT, if you have anything less than 80, then it will be very competitive. Like to think that you will get an invite. So if you are not having that kind of point, then definitely I'll ask you to work on that. And another thing is like if you have got job in your field, then please enhance your work experience on based of that also. Job opportunities will be better wherever you're thinking of moving after July. At this stage, yeah, definitely getting experience on your own field and working on your point. That is what I can recommend.
All right.
And if you have
We
not done your skill assessment till now, then please get into you're getting your skill assessment.
All right. We have a question from Sri Harsha, and he says that he has applied for 190 visa in NSW for a software engineering, and then he's completed 3 years of experience. He's going to complete a 3 year experience by August, and by then he'll have a 90 plus 5 points for the 190 visa. And he's asking if you can advise what are the chances for getting an invitation for the visa.
Um, um, Well, there are people who are software engineers who's got that kind of experience, 3 years plus experience. They are getting invited also in 90, 85 points. So, Shriharsh, at this public platform, I don't want to discuss what all you have done. It. I think it will be a good idea if you give us a call, and then we can discuss, your profile in
In
one-to-one
depth.
basis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and give you a more tailored advice. Uh,
exactly.
yeah, but thank you for your queries, everyone who has joined us
Yeah.
today. Mm, any other general migration updates that you think students, especially everyone who's here so far, that they've asked us all these questions, any general advice for them?
Um, the general advice for all the student at this stage, what I can tell it is, please be serious towards your studies. Make sure you meet your, all the condition laid in your student visa, because what happens is if you don't meet those conditions later when you are doing your visa extension, I mean, like when you're applying for new student visa or when you're going through, it can work against you if you're not meeting your condition. And also, like try to find and have a consultation with the registered migration agent with the early state of your student visa, so that they can see and understand your case and let you know if you are doing anything correctly or if you are not doing anything correctly, what will be your future plan, so that you can imply that in your the rest of your student tenure that you've got in Australia. So, I always recommend all the students to have the consultation with registered migration agent while they're just a year old in Australia, so that they know what are their future pathways, so they are not in dilemma after completing their student
Mm.
visa, like what next or what should they do, so all these queries and everything is cleared well ahead, before finishing their student studies here.
Yeah, students tend to keep all these things towards the end, and then it gets in a very bad situation. So
Yes.
that's a piece of advice that everyone's going to take with them today, I
Yeah.
hope. Um, so I think we are done with the questions. Um,
Yeah, I think so. At this stage, what I would advise to all our viewers is, like, if PR is your pathway, and if you are not meeting enough points, if you are not having enough points in your pocket to apply for those GSM pathways, then think about employer sponsorship as well. Sometimes your employer are not aware of it, and it's just matter of raising a question to your employer, like, if there is an opportunity, will you be happy to sponsor me? So, then you can also get PR through employer sponsored pathway. And if you are not sure whether you meet the eligibility criteria for those pathway, then you can always contact us and we'll be more than happy to guide you through that. So, yeah, so don't get discouraged if you are not able to meet, have those one of the highest point. There are various pathways. It's just matter of contacting and understanding and knowing your profile and what are the options you've got in front of you.
that's yes. Yeah. So I'm is if anybody else who's watching has any questions, please drop them in the comments so we can answer your questions. I think we have just a few minutes left. Um,
No, that's okay, Dipti. We can, you know, if they have got any questions, they can always put it in the comment box and we can
mhm.
always get back to them. And plus, our email address is right over there, and also our phone number. If you have got any queries, and if you feel that, okay, and if you're not sure of anything as well, then also you can always give us a call and we will be more than happy to advise you and guide you through to our best of ability. Because don't live in confusion, don't live in state where you are double minded. It's
Mhm.
always advisable to clear your doubts, because it's better to clear your doubts in early stage of your migration rather than coming towards the end when you have only a couple of months, and even knowing that you are eligible for that, you don't have to point to, like, you don't have so much of time to work that and then apply for something that you are eligible of.
And I think as students, again, we keep everything till the end moment, and it's not going to work out for us. And of course, reach out to someone who's registered, someone who is a professional at giving out advice. Like people might go to their friends or someone who's been through a similar situation and might think that they might help them out. But often, even if they go through that way, they might get stuck midway, and they eventually you have to come to an agent and you have to discuss your case and choose the best solution for your situation.
And I just wanted to say something at last. Remember, little knowledge is dangerous. So all the friends that who you are chatting to and all, they might not be sure of everything. They might not know, because migration rules and regulations are changing in almost every day. Like, it is very difficult for everyone to keep themselves updated with all these changes. So it is not a bad idea to always have a consultation with the registered migration agent who has that knowledge, who keeps themselves updated, because that's part of their profession. So that's
Mhm.
why don't rely on someone who's not sure of, like, what they are advising you or what they are telling you. So it's always recommended, that you should seek with professional advice. You can go to our, respected colleagues around the industries, and then have, your say and know about your situation thoroughly, rather than just relying on a half information that's circulating around.
Yeah, that might get you into more trouble than any good. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I think so. Yeah. In that note, I think we say goodbye to all our viewers and thank you for being with us.
yeah,
Uh,
thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining too. And thank you, Dipti, for hosting us.
Thank you, Pooja, for coming on this platform, and thank you for to all of you who have joined us today. And we're gonna have another migration update soon, and you'll be notified if you follow our Facebook page. You'll get all the updates. You can also message us on Facebook or reach out to us on our phone number or our email. We're available on Instagram as well as Facebook, almost all social media platforms. So you can reach out to us any queries, anytime. We're going to attend to it. We're going to help you out in the best way possible. And yes, thank you so much for being here again. And I think we'll end this live here. Yeah, see you, Pooja, maybe next week or soon, sometime soon.
No worries. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye, everybody.